most important things that you're actually going to set up within the analytics module is goals for your business. And these are actually goals that we're going to track in Google Analytics. And the reason this is important is because it tells us how well our business is doing online. So you might have lots of different goals. If you're an e-commerce, your goals might be a purchase. If you're a service provider, it might be a contact or a callback request. It's whatever you would deem to be a successful conversion on your website, an action that you want someone to take that will help you determine how well your website is doing. So I'm going to talk you through how to set that up, and in this particular example, I'm going to show you my contact page and how to link that up in analytics. So this is obviously a goal. A goal for me is someone sending me a message through my website. And this is important because I know that out of 9 project consultations that I have, 9 out of 10 consultations that I have will actually turn into a project at some point. So I know that getting those inquiries through my website is really important and that I can class this as a goal. However, here's the trick. The goal is not for someone to land onto this page. The goal is actually for someone to successfully fill out the form. So the goal is actually the thank you page, because we know then that if they've gone to the thank you page, they've filled out the form successfully. So this is the goal that we want to track in analytics, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Simply log into your analytics and choose the account that you want to track and click on admin. Now in your third column where it says all website data, just here, you're going to have a little flag called goals. This is really simple to set up. I want to set up a new goal, and I'm just going to talk you through what these options mean. So analytics actually has a few templates already set up. There's a few kind of basic ones in here. None of these are actually relevant to my business in the first section. Acquisition, maybe if you've got a member site, or that's part of your opt-in. More often than not, if you're a service provider, it's going to be in the inquiry section there. I'm not actually going to use their template. I'm going to show you how to do it a custom way, because then you can set up any kind of goal that you want, and it doesn't really matter. But if I just show you how to do it the custom way, then I can cover a lot of different goals within this. So I'm going to click on custom and click continue, and this goal is a contact form, and it's automatically going to give me a slot, so that one's fine. And it's also going to ask me what type of goal is this. So it's got a few different types here. A destination is the one that we want in this case, and it's got a few examples here. Duration, so it might be that actually you want someone to spend a certain amount of time on the website, and you know that if they spend that amount of time, then that's a goal for you. That's someone who's really engaged in what you do. And this might be particularly interesting if you've got a membership site and you want to measure the success of someone staying on a page and watching a video, for example. So that would be a good example of a duration success. It might be that you want them to go through a certain number of pages, so you've got an option for that. Or it might be that you want to track an event. And for this particular one, and this is going to be the most appropriate in 9 out of 10 cases, is a destination. So I'm going to click on that and go to continue. Now, sometimes it might be that you've got a website that adds some unique numbers onto the end of your URL. You're going to find this in things like Shopify. When you go through the checkout, it adds a lot of numbers on the end to track it in their own system. So you can also say it begins with rather than it equals to, because if I put equals to, it's only going to track the exact URL. So for this, we've said that the goal is not actually the contact form. The goal is actually the thank you page. And this is why I like to set up separate thank you pages for particular goals within my online strategy, because for me it's important that I know where my traffic's going to, and I know that different journeys throughout the site have different destinations, and different people want to know different things. So I have different thank you pages, and I say, for example, on an opt-in form where I want someone to take action and go and check their inbox, I actually put some details on the thank you page that tell them to go there. I tell them what to do. And I'm going to show you on my thank you page. Actually, I want to have some more information. This is my opportunity to get some more information from this person. People are really open to give you more information when they've actually already committed. So by them filling out the form and then me asking them for a few quick questions, quite a lot of people fill this out. So it's really handy just to get a bit more information. What I can then do is when someone's filled out that contact form, I can then cross-reference the time of their inquiry, and I can have a look at their questions, and then I can respond in a very targeted way and make sure that everything that I add in my next contact to them is relevant to their specific needs. So this is just some super quick questions, and I've embedded a type form on that page. It's a really easy thing to set up, and you get a lot of important data from it. So I really recommend that for something like a contact form. Okay, so we actually want to copy the whole URL in this case, because WordPress doesn't add any kind of individual numbers onto the end of these URLs. So I want the whole URL. So I'm just copying that over to here. And in this case, that's the URL. And I'm not going to assign a value to that, but you can set a value. For example, if I know that for every 10 inquiries that I get through my website, I turn one of those inquiries into a project worth £10,000, then that means each conversion of that form would be worth £1,000. So you can set the value on there. It's a really handy way to track the revenue success of your website if that's appropriate with your business. On this particular form, my projects are so varied that sometimes it can be a small job, sometimes it can be a very large job, and as such I wouldn't get much measurable data from that. For this particular form, I get a lot of general inquiries, so I'm just using this as an example in here. What I can also do is I can set a funnel on. So this goal will only be tracked when someone goes to a page before it. So in this instance, the page before is actually the contact page. So I'm just going to pop that in here. And to track this goal, is this required for that? Yes, the contact page is required for that thank you page goal. So I'm just going to pop yes, because there's no way that someone can get to that thank you page without having gone to the contact page before it. It might be that you've got 2 or 3 parts of your funnel that are required before someone actually achieves that goal, they've got that success. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to verify this goal and see how many people would have converted based on the data from my analytics in the past 7 days. Okay, so this tells you this goal would have had 0.83 conversion rate based on your data from the past 7 days. Now I know that I've had 3 inquiries over the past week, so that's nearly 1% conversion rate based on my traffic. So I know that that's about right. If you know you've had goals achieved, but that says 0, it means you've set something up wrong, and usually it's that you've put in the wrong destination. So just to recap, the goal is not the contact page. The goal is the step afterwards, the confirmation, the success. However, I do want to add in the funnel step here. Now this is completely optional. You might want to just check that you know how to set up a goal first and then re-verify. Okay, so it's given me the exact same one, so I know that this step that I added in is correct. So that's a really good way to check that it's worked okay. I'm going to put that back to required, and I'm going to click save. There we go. Now when I go back into my analytics, into my reporting, it's actually going to be in my goals, but it's not actually showing yet because there's no goals from this point onwards. So once that starts tracking again, my goals are actually going to appear in the conversions section. Okay, on to the next module.